The moment the camera catches D-Mac's face in that crowded room, everything changes. What starts as a simple dice game turns into the most dangerous moment of his life because tonight, every move, every word, and every mistake is being recorded. And without knowing it, D-Mac is about to step into a trap that will shake the whole city. This isn't just a game. This is the moment that gets streamed across Chicago, pulling Tommy, CBI, and every enemy out of the shadows. And once the video spreads, there's no turning back. The streets of Chicago have been boiling since the start of Season 3, and Episode 1 made it clear that nothing is stable anymore. D-Mac is moving deeper into the street life, even though everyone around him keeps trying to pull him out. He wants to prove he can handle himself, that he's not just a kid in Tommy's shadow. But the more he tries to stand on his own, the more danger follows him. Every decision he makes now has weight, and every wrong step pulls him closer to people who would use him, test him, or even destroy him. That hunger to be respected is pushing him toward a path that he isn't fully ready to walk. At the same time, Marshall has been trying to claim more space for himself too, especially inside the game. He's tired of taking orders, tired of playing small, and tired of being overlooked. He wants to show the streets that he's sharp, fearless, and willing to take risks that others wouldn't dare. But ambition is a dangerous thing in Chicago. It doesn't matter how smart or strong you think you are. If you make the wrong enemies, you won't see the next sunrise. The pressure around Marshall is building from all directions. Rival crews watching him, old beats resurfacing, and new threats waiting for him to slip. And through all of this, Tommy is trying to keep control of his empire. But control is only an illusion when the city moves in ways even he can't predict. The feds are circling. Enemies he didn't even know he had are planning their next move. And the people he cares about, D-Mac included, are starting to make choices that could break everything he has built. When D-Mac steps into that dice game, Tommy has no idea what's coming. And he definitely doesn't know that the biggest threat won't come from bullets or betrayal, but from something even more dangerous, a live stream. Every corner of the city is changing fast. Alliances are shaky. Streets are tense. And it's clear that something big is coming. Episode 1 lays out the warning signs, but Episode 2 is where things explode, starting with that dice game. What should have been a simple night turns into a moment that spreads through phones, crews, blocks, and neighborhoods like wildfire. A video that no one can contain. A video that puts names, faces, and actions into the spotlight. And once it hits the streets, everyone involved becomes a target, whether they planned for it or not. This is the world D-Mac is stepping into. A world where loyalty is tested, eyes are always watching, and one wrong move can be replayed again and again for everyone to see. And for the first time, D-Mac realizes that the streets aren't just dangerous, they're recording everything. The energy inside that backroom feels heavy from the moment D-Mac walks in. It's the kind of place where the walls hold secrets, and every shout, laugh, or side-eye means something more than it seems. The dice table sits in the middle like a magnet, pulling everyone's attention, pulling D-Mac in even deeper than he planned. He isn't there just to play. He's there to show that he belongs, that he can stand with men who don't forgive mistakes and don't respect weakness. He tries to play it cool, but his heart is racing. He can feel how every eye in the room is judging him, waiting to see if he will break or rise. Marshall is already there, posted up with that look he always wears, half confidence, half challenge. He nods at D-Mac, but it isn't a warm welcome. It's more like a silent check, a reminder that this is his space, his table, his game. The other players sense the tension between them, and even though no one says anything, the whole room feels the shift. Men start placing baits with louder voices, trying to drown out the silent battle happening between the two younger ones. Everyone knows ego can be more dangerous than a gun, especially when money is on the line. As the dice roll across the table, D-Mac keeps thinking about everything that brought him here. He remembers the warnings, the danger, the people who told him he should stay away from situations like this. But something inside him refuses to step back. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's frustration. Maybe it's the need to take control of his own life. But whatever it is, it pushes him deeper. He takes risks with his baits, talks louder than usual, tries to make the table feel like he's not scared. But fear is the one thing you can't hide in a room full of people who know fear better than anyone. Marshall watches him, and with each roll, he grows more irritated. D-Mac's confidence doesn't sit well with him. To Marshall, this isn't just a game, it's a stage, and he hates sharing it. Every time D-Mac wins, heads turn toward him instead of toward Marshall, and that alone is enough to spark anger. The air around them thickens, and even the smallest comments start to feel sharp. People make little jokes, little digs, little challenges that slowly build the pressure between the two young men. What no one notices, at least not at first, is the phone pointed at the table. Someone has it raised just high enough to see everything. Maybe they're recording for bragging rights. Maybe they want proof of who won and who lost. Or maybe they're just careless. But that phone becomes the most dangerous thing in the room. It catches the smirks, the insults, the rising tension that's about to break. It catches D-Mac's nervous moments, Marshall's angry stares, and every risk being taken in that room. D-Mac starts to feel the shift before it happens. His instincts warn him that the energy around the table is turning from competitive to hostile. Marshall leans in closer after each roll, his voice getting harder. The room grows quieter, sharper. The kind of quiet that usually means violence is close. But the problem is that D-Mac doesn't have an escape. He's too deep in the moment, too deep in the game, too deep in the pressure of proving himself. He can't back down, not now, not in front of people who already questioned him. And so the dice keep rolling, the baits get bigger, and the tension squeezes the room tighter and tighter. Every second that passes brings them one step closer to the breaking point. And with that phone still recording, the world outside this room is unknowingly waiting for a moment that will change everything. The dice hit the table again. But this time the sound feels different. It isn't just plastic tapping, it's a warning. The room is still crowded, still loud, but there's a shift that everyone feels in their bones. Something inside the space changes, almost like the air gets tighter, heavier. D-Mac feels it hit him first. His hands stop moving for a second. His focus sharpens. He knows when energy turns dangerous. And right now, everything is pointing in that direction. Marshall doesn't bother hiding his irritation anymore. He stares at D-Mac with a look that isn't just anger, it's a mix of jealousy and challenge. The kind of look that pushes small disagreements into real problems. Every time D-Mac picks up the dice, Marshall's jaw tightens. Every time someone laughs at D-Mac's win, Marshall's pride takes another hit. Pride is a powerful thing on these streets. It can blind a man. It can push him to do something he can't take back. And Marshall is standing right on the edge of that line. D-Mac tries to stay calm. He knows better than to feed the fire. But the room is watching him, and he hits looking weak. He throws a quick comment, something small, something meant to lighten the moment, but instead, it hits Marshall's ego harder. A simple joke turns into fuel. A little smile turns into provocation. Someone behind Marshall laughs, and that's when Marshall's patience snaps. His shoulders go stiff. His voice gets low. He calls out D-Mac in a way that isn't playful anymore. The kind of call out that means prove yourself or get out. The players around the table sense what's happening. Conversations fade. Eyes focus. Even the people who don't want trouble can't help watching. It's human nature. Everyone knows these moments don't end quietly. They end with someone bleeding, or someone running, or someone regretting that they didn't walk away when they had the chance. But no one walks away tonight. Not D-Mac. Not Marshall. Not the crowd that secretly wants to see how far this will go. As Marshall steps closer, the tension spreads like heat. His voice grows sharper, louder, filled with the kind of energy that demands a reaction. He brings up old insults, things he's held inside for too long. He accuses D-Mac of disrespect. He claims the young kid has been acting bigger than he is. None of this is really about the dice anymore. It's about control, about the need to be feared, about the fear of being overshadowed. D-Mac fires back only because he has no choice. Backing down isn't an option here, not in front of men who would call him weak for months. He tries to keep his voice steady, but inside, he feels the heat rising in his chest. He isn't scared of Marshall. He's scared of where this could lead because he knows men like Marshall don't just argue. They explode. And then there's the phone, still recording, still catching every word, every stare, every threat. No one is paying attention to it now. Everyone is too locked in on the face-off happening inches from the table. The person holding it doesn't stop. Maybe they think it's funny, maybe they think it's nothing serious, or maybe they just want drama for views. But what they don't realize is that this video is about to become the spark that lights a war. Voices grow louder. People push closer. A crowd forms around the two young men as if they're watching something they can't turn away from. D-Mac steps forward. Marshall pushes back. A shove turns into a grab. An insult turns into a threat. The breaking point is here, beating like a pulse under the surface. And in that tight, breathless moment, it becomes clear that only one thing needs to happen to send everything crashing down. A hand reaching into a pocket. A flash of metal. A reaction made too fast. 1 second where anger beats logic. Everything in the room is seconds away from exploding. And the worst part is that nobody knows the whole world is about to watch it unfold. The moment the crowd leans in, the room feels like it's shrinking. Every breath becomes louder. Every heartbeat sounds like a drum hitting against a wall. D-Mac can feel sweat on his palms, but he doesn't back away. Marshall is inches from him, breathing hard, eyes locked on him with a rage that has been building for months. This isn't about dice anymore. This is about pride, fear, and being seen. And right now, neither one of them is thinking clearly enough to stop what's coming. The argument hits its peak when Marshall shoves D-Mac, harder this time, hard enough to send a message. People around them gasp, but no one steps in. They've seen this story before. They know how fast things can go from verbal to violent. They also know that trying to stop two young men with something to prove is almost impossible. This is the kind of moment that decides futures, breaks families, and starts wars. But in the heat of it, all D-Mac feels is anger burning through him like a spark meeting gasoline. He pushes back. And the room stops breathing. Marshall reaches for his pocket. It's quick, instinctive, almost automatic. D-Mac sees the motion and his mind races. His heartbeat thunders in his ears. His vision narrows to just Marshall's hands. Time seems to slow, stretching seconds into something long enough to feel the weight of every choice. He knows what Marshall is reaching for, and he knows it means this moment has crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. A shout echoes from the back of the room, but it's too late. Metal flashes. A gun clears Marshall's pocket. Someone yells for everyone to move, but the sound is swallowed by chaos. The crowded room bursts into panic. Men scatter. Chairs slam into the walls. Money spills across the floor as people trip over each other trying to reach the door. In the middle of the chaos, D-Mac reacts. Not out of strategy, not out of planning, he reacts out of fear, instinct, and survival. A single shot cracks through the room. It is the kind of sound that freezes everything, even the air. Marshall's body jerks as the bullet hits him. He falls back, hitting the ground with a sound that feels final. The crowd goes silent for the shortest moment, a moment where everyone realizes what just happened. And then panic explodes again, louder than before, faster, messier. No one stays to help Marshall. No one checks on him. Everyone just runs because they know what this means. A shot fired in a crowded room is a death sentence for more than just the man who gets hit. It is the start of something bigger, something unstoppable. D-Mac stands frozen, staring at the body on the ground. His breath is shaking. His hands tremble. He didn't want this. He didn't plan this. But wanting and planning don't matter now. The damage is done, and there is no undoing it. His mind races, filled with fear of what happens next. Tommy, CPI, rival crews, Marshall's people. All of them will come looking for answers, and D-Mac knows he's now part of something he can't control. But then it gets worse. Someone screams, "It's live! It's live!" Those words hit D-Mac harder than the shot ever could. He turns and sees the phone, the same phone that had been recording quietly at the start. Only now, the screen isn't showing a simple recording icon. It's showing comments flying up the side of the screen, hearts popping, usernames reacting. Someone had gone live. The entire moment, every insult, every shove, every threat, every second leading up to the shot was streamed in real time to whoever was watching, people watching from other blocks, other crews, maybe even the police, maybe even enemies who have been waiting for D-Mac to slip. And the worst part? The live wouldn't stay live. People save videos, screen record, repost, share. Within minutes, the whole city will know exactly what happened and exactly who pulled the trigger. D-Mac feels the world closing in. His chest tightens. His thoughts scatter. He knows he has seconds before everything changes, before Tommy sees it, before enemies see it, before someone decides to chase him down, before he can run. The room is still loud with chaos, but all he hears is the echo of that shot and the horror of that stream. A single bad moment is already spreading through Chicago like a wildfire. And D-Mac knows this is only the beginning. This video won't just bring danger. It will bring revenge, heat, investigations, and a level of war he never wanted to be part of. Once the streets see that stream, nothing will ever be the same for him, for Marshall's crew, or for Tommy's entire empire.